What do you do as a dental practice owner, a dentist, when your traditional lending runs out? When you have a business need and you need capital or financing, how do you solve that problem? This is Paul, Dr. Nacho Goodman. I'm here with one of our awesome sponsors, Josh Kim from 7A Accelerator, and he's going to share with us some awesome toppings associated with SBA loans that you can use right now. I want to share up front, all financial decisions should be made with the help of your advisory team. What's right for you may not be right for someone else, but I'm a JFO guy. Just find out how you can get help to make these huge decisions. Maybe you want to buy the patient list, the charts from a dentist down the street. Maybe this is the time to buy your dental building. Josh is going to share with us some cool things going on now and how he can help you. Welcome to Talking Nachos, Josh. Share with us what's the deal with SBA loans and what is happening right now that's exciting, and how can we help our Dental Nachos audience learn more about them?
Yeah, thanks, Paul, for jumping on the line here. So the SBA, everyone has probably heard about PPP, EIDL, and for dentists, also the Provider Relief Fund for Medicare. They just drop some money in your bank for being a medical professional. One of the other incentives that they baked into the world of small business finance that most business owners are not usually hearing about is with the main SBA 7A and 504 loan programs. Those are the ones that have been around forever, will continue to be around forever. They are they have some incentives that include they will pay the first 3 months of the loan for you.
Nice.
They will also waive all the guarantee fees. And then the guarantee percentage for the bank is actually higher than it normally is. Normally, the SBA, when a bank makes a loan through a 7A loan, they guarantee 75%. Right now, it's 90%. Now, that's not something that's usually seen as much, but it just means you can get more aggressive deals done. The bank has less downside risk. They will do a lot of very creative deals. Luckily for everyone in the audience today, dentists have the lowest default rate out there, so not a problem. But they will pay you more money.
Dentists are a special lender. And what I think is just important, I talk about this all the time, they don't teach us business in dental school. It's being successful is your dental core, your mind, words, and your hands. Your work. So just to review, right now, interest rates are at a low. There's no guarantee rate, and they're going to pay the first 3 months of the loan. Those are the three things. So those are things happening right now. My grandmother said I was the most interesting boy in the world, but just in case people stop listening at this time, how could someone reach out to you to learn more about it? We're going to keep talking, but I just like to put that up front here.
Yeah, so you can just email me directly, josh@7accelerator.com. You can also go to our website, 7accelerator.com, schedule a call. We'll be doing a follow-up post in the Facebook group right after this, and you can either direct message me or one of my other guys we'll have in there who will be there to answer questions and send some informational PDFs out. But yeah, if you want to just reach out to me directly, josh@7accelerator.com. I'm also in the Facebook group. You can just message me directly.
I live in my computer. You can also text us SBA to 215-536-6454. Some of the big simple strategies for success. So we find out SBA loans rates are good right now. The guarantee, pay the first 3 months of the loan. Just break it down for our Nacho audience. What are things that your clients, dentists, are using these loans for?
Yeah, so we've got a client right now, a dentist out of California, which is where I am today. I'm in California today. He's using his SBA loan to basically remodel his whole office. He bought this practice from an estate from a dentist that had passed away, and there was a ton of water damage, and just the whole office was all messed up. So they had to rip out all the floor, put everything in. So he's using some SBA financing to help with those costs, get some new equipment, hire some new staff, just remodel his whole office.
I would say, Josh, if somebody's watching right now and says, that sounds good to me, I want to remodel my office. What are the loan amounts you can get through the SBA?
So with the 7A program, you can go up to $5 million. If you're doing something that's exclusively tied to real estate, you can fall in the 504 bucket. Just think about it like this. The lane for 7A is this wide. The lane for 504 is this wide, right? 504 is only going to tie to buying a building or doing improvements. So you can go up to 10 million with 504, but that's probably more than a dentist is going to need for a single office. So 7A is generally the easiest way just to get stuff done. You can get up to $5 million through that. The rate probably around like 5 to 5.5% is typically what I'm seeing. 10-year term if you don't own the real estate, 25-year term if you do own the real estate.
Gotcha. So commonly we use for real estate purposes, but now we're doing remodel purposes. We talked about buying the charts of a dentist down the street. That might be something. You have a $100,000 chart sale. Anything else in your client base just to add context for our audience of what people are utilizing these loans for?
Partner buyouts and other practice acquisitions. Those are another big thing that we're seeing with medical professionals, dentists, doctors, vets alike. SBA is a great resource for it because a lot of times lenders don't want to go above a certain dollar amount to a single person. And so that's where SBA will come in and be very helpful. If you already own a practice, you want to buy another one, you want to buy out a partner, SBA is a very flexible resource for that. And just if you need general growth capital, right? You want to refinance some higher interest, refinance or consolidate higher interest debt, or if you want some extra capital, you want to go buy some new chairs, some new equipment, whatever the case might be.
The key is just so people, it has to be tied to the practice. You can't just go out and buy a boat, Nacho color boat if you want to. That would be something you can't use.
Pretty much anything tied to your business, you can use an SBA loan for. Yeah.
So this is really adding such value. And we work with so many different banks out there, but to use this story, general dentists might do crowns and fillings and restore implants. Mm-hmm. They're not going to just retreat a second molar through a crown and they refer that to an endodontist. They refer wisdom teeth to an oral surgeon. If someone's thinking, oh, but I can get a practice loan through a traditional dental lender, is what you're seeing as clients that either maximize that loans or they don't want to get involved in this. Where do you guys come in? Are you like the specialist next to the traditional lender, somebody when it's used up? Tell me a little more about that.
Yeah. So I often tell people like, hey, conventional lending products are great for dentists up to, about $750,000 to $1 million. And so I often encourage people go get that, go tap that first because the rates and terms are going to provide you basically going to be the same. So, why bother? But where SBA comes in and is a lot more helpful is for practice acquisitions, like buying your second location, or especially with real estate. I mean, these conventional lenders are going to require a lot more money down. Right. There's a lot of instances where the banks that I work with for 7A financing will actually 100% finance a real estate purchase for a dentist.
Yeah.
Conventional lenders are not going to do that. So that's really where the benefit of SBA comes in. Either you've exhausted the runway of what your conventional financing folks want to do, or the terms they're offering you for the deal that you have just isn't as favorable. You can buy another practice.
What I want to jump in and say is, as someone who's a dental practice broker, someone who's bought multiple practices, the real estate piece is always a challenging piece to a transaction. And sometimes it makes sense for the dentist to buy it at the time of buying the practice, and sometimes it doesn't. But what makes sense is for them to buy it later. So maybe it sounds like this could be a good time to acquire your building if it makes sense to do so. And then SBA loan comes in at that time. Am I tracking properly there?
Yes, that's a great instance. And I see plenty of situations like that too, where the guy coming in to buy the practice, maybe he doesn't have 10% down to buy the real estate and the practice together. So he does one and then just plans on buying the real estate later. What I will say that is one of the nice things about SBA is if you buy a practice and real estate together, they will stretch the whole loan over 25 years.
Oh, wow.
So instead of having a 25-year loan for the building and a 10-year loan for the practice, you can lump it into one and you have a 25-year term for the whole thing.
I mean, what I want to share is we get very emotional about financial decisions, but sometimes I pay $5 for a 30-cent bottle of water because I need it for my child because we're at an amusement park, right? And it just makes sense at that time to solve my problem. And too often we judge ourselves as, hey, while traditionally a 10-year loan is for a practice, maybe it makes sense to manage your cash flow to stretch it out for you. And that's why, we've talked in person, when you are working, and I just like you to add this value, who are you talking to on the dentist team? Are you talking to attorneys? Are you talking to accountants? Are you talking to any bankers? Just like a patient expects us to coordinate their care with specialists, general dentists, who are you talking to in your daily 7A Josh life?
Yeah. So a lot of where we see issues is dentists that are trying to do it all themselves. I have two in mind specifically. I'm not going to expose them, but they are trying to juggle a lot. Or, their accountants are not providing the support that they need throughout the process when it comes to collecting financials. So they're chasing it. But the key people for getting your SBA loan, the main person is going to be your accountant, bookkeeper, right? And maybe that's an in-house person, maybe that's an outside person, doesn't really matter. The person who's going to get all your financials together, that's the most important person. The attorney, the insurance agent, they're involved in the process. They'll need to be, but they're by no means as
and you've probably seen, just like dentists need good endodontists, there's a value to having a really good dental focused or accountant working on your team. I'm assuming that that's a really big part of success for the dentists you work with.
Yeah, and if you're pissed off at your current accountant because they suck, feel free to send me a message. I have a referral I can make to an accounting firm that just does dentists.
And that's one of the things is, it's, as you can see, dentists are a unique group. Both we're unique emotionally, we're unique personally, and we're unique financially. I've made some good Instagram memes. dentists come out of school with $600,000 of debt. They work for 2 years, and banks line up to give them another 600,000. There's not many other businesses that do this. Then you guys line up to do the business. So this is a positive part of our industry, in that we ramp up from huge debt to making money to now having money. And if you don't have a team to help you navigate that, it probably can just be so overwhelming.
It really can be. And what you said about student loans made me think about something. The reason you're able to borrow so much money through student loans, why is it? It's because the government's guaranteeing it. Otherwise, banks would never give out that kind of money to people, without a business to back it, unless there was, without a government guarantee. And so that's why SBA financing is so great. And you can borrow so much capital, even though you might have a collateral shortfall. I mean, if you want to go buy 2 or 3 practices, but you're not getting the real estate with it, that's really just going to be a purchase based on the cash flow of the business. Yeah, you get some office equipment or whatever, but you're borrowing $1 million. There might only be $100,000 of equipment there. Conventional lenders are not going to be as aggressive on that as SBA because government guarantee. So
that's what you should be. Leverage your specialness, dentist. Leverage that there are these institutions that do this. So I always love talking to you. I learned something myself. I learned something here. Is there anything else you want to add to for our Dental Nachos audience or dentist office, or just something that someone should know about SBA lending?
Yeah, well, like we discussed, these incentives, the free payments, the fee waivers. If you borrow $1 million right now, you're going to be getting about $62,000 worth of credits, subsidies. Awesome. From the current incentives, if you borrow about $1 million right now, which is a lot, right? So, what I would say to anyone in the audience is, if you have any semblance of a need for capital in your business, whether it's to refinance, you want to buy out a partner, you want to buy a building, now is the time to do it, because these incentives are not going to last, another 3 months. So you got to get in now. Make sure you get it approved before the deadline happens, so you can make sure.
I like that. Dentist, our dentist people, we like a deal. So the deal focus thing is great. So you are a great key resource and sponsor. You deliver awesome value. I'm sure you have conversations with people every day, just where you're sharing education about what they can do out there. So I want to say thanks for doing that, Josh. Reach out to Josh. You can text SBA to 215-543-6454. What was the direct way to reach out to you again, Josh?
Yeah, if you want to reach out directly, I'll be in the Facebook group, so you can message me there, or you can also send an email to josh@7accelerator.com. You can also just go on our site, schedule a call. We'll be put something in the Facebook group too. But yeah, that's the best way to reach me. Just shoot me an email.
It goes with our JFO mentality. Just find out how to be successful. If you would like to be on Talking Nachos, just text SALSA to 215-543-6454, or reach out to us at dentalnachos.com. Thanks so much, Josh.
All right.